Mexico. An emerging economy that passed a long way so far since the independence of the country. Since 1821, Mexico has developed so many sectors of their economy that most of us have never seen the country face any critical economic situation. And since many decades, Mexico is emerging slowly, developing the economy with rigid basements, and empowering their economy. The development of Mexico have started even before its independence. Since 1550, the country was facing a subtle growth in its economic condition and GDP. And it continued till 1930. The country's GDP started to grow at a stable rate since then, and it is still getting bigger. Currently, Mexico is the 15th largest economy of the world, and the GDP growth rate of Mexico is 4.72%. Compared to other developed economies such as Malaysia and Thailand, Mexico currently has a much higher rate. However, only an optimistic GDP cannot be enough for Mexico to surpass America in the near future. Rather, it depends on many other aspects of the country itself, and the revamp of Mexican economy needs to be forecasted to know if the country will surpass America in future or not. It is said that World War II played a big role in the development of the Mexican economy. In the World War II, many countries other than the United States were fighting. Meanwhile, the United States focused on developing their industries of steel, aircraft, and agriculture. The American economy was booming. America's development benefited Mexico immensely because the development of industries in the USA was largely dependent on Mexican resources. Mexico got the opportunity to export their minerals and goods to the USA, and it made them capable of earning a lot of US dollars during that time. Even the rate of employment increased for the Mexicans in different industries of the United States. In the year 1942, around 300,000 Mexicans were recruited by America in the agricultural industry. Through such initiatives, the relationship of those two countries have settled, and America started to help Mexico in many development projects. The progress of Mexico during this phase was so optimistic that the rate of inflation during the phase 1942 to 1970 was around 3%, with a stable economic growth rate of 3 to 4% each year. It was the U.S. economy that was booming after the Second World War, and it made the Mexican economy boom as well. Mexico, with the revenue generated from the U.S. trading during that phase, made initiative for a huge infrastructural development, and it is still keeping the Mexicans ahead in this competitive economic condition. Mexicans were more dependent on only agriculture, and education was not a concern of most of the Mexicans till the mid of 19th century. The government of Mexico understood that it is time for educating the Mexican population. Because if the country needs to develop further, they will need to grow the business and service sector internally. The biggest advantage of Mexican Miracle was, it made the population of Mexico have wealth, and they became able to spend money for ensuring their basic needs of life. During that time, the Mexican government started to emphasize on education, because nothing can be more important for development than an educated nation. Many primary and public schools were established by the government in the 19th century, and the population gradually started to pursue higher education. In the year 1950, only 3 million Mexicans used to attend schools. However, the rate of literacy increased largely, and by the year 1980, their literacy rate stood up to 83%. By this time, Mexico has a literacy rate of nearly 95%, which is very commendable, and helping them to boost the economy. The development of different industries in Mexico is a key contributor of the economy. Over the years, the increase in literacy level have increased the rate of service holder in the country. The total amount of service holders in Mexico has been around 61 to 62% during the last decade. It is making the population capable of spending a lot more money, eventually making the economy run smoothly. Besides, the Mexican workers working abroad are also bringing a lot of remittance to the country. The amount of remittance is increasing year by year in Mexico, and in 2021, a record amount of remittance was sent back home by the Mexican workers working abroad, as $50 billion was obtained as remittance. Mexico is known for its automotive industry, and the country annually manufactures 4 million automotive units. More than 82% of these units are exported to countries like America, Canada, and Germany, and the industry contributes more than $100 billion per year to the economy. According to the Mexican government, it is a vision of Mexico to become one of the biggest manufacturers of automotive parts and automotive machineries. Not only that, the country is now focusing on the medical and aerospace industry as well, and exporting the products to other countries. According to the recent stats of 2023, the Mexican aerospace, medical and agriculture industry has a worth of $8 billion, $16 billion, and $43 billion. Because of the easiness in Mexican border with America, the country gets a lot of opportunities in exporting products to America. There is much more great influences of the border in developing the Mexican economy. One of the most dangerous places of the world is the borderline between Mexico and the United States. The biggest drug cartels of South American countries use this border to trade drugs. It is the same border used by Pablo Escobar, the man considered as the richest drug mafia that the world has ever seen. However, regardless of that, this border plays a vital role in strengthening the economy of both Mexico and the United States. The trading in this border crosses a worth of $1 billion every day. Most of the export and import between the countries happen through this border. And it has significantly generated a revenue stream for the Mexicans. Many Mexicans are becoming capable of getting employed in the USA because of the trading. According to stats, 1.7 million new jobs were created because of the trades. The state of California alone has 692,000 new jobs because of the trade. There are 200,000 new job opportunities in New York, and many other states have seen an increase in the availability of jobs. As the Americans are less interested for working in such opportunities, the Mexican population is largely getting benefited through the earnings of the people. The border is the only cheap option for the Americans to export product in the southern regions and some parts of Canada. And because of that, Mexico earns a lot of US dollars through the taxes and spending of the US travelers. The exchange rate of peso and US dollars have also increased because of this. The exchange rate was only 10% in the years 2000, and it has grown up to 24% by 2022. This border provides a lot to the Mexican economy, and the benefits of this border is increasing every year for Mexico. Can we really say that the Mexican economy will surpass American economy in next few decades? Well, the answers of this relies more on the condition of America. The current condition of America is not as glorious as the last decade. Since the Russian invasion, the dominance of American dollars has largely got impacted. Now, Russia is making all the European countries buy oil and gas in rubles. Every day, $1 billion of transaction are getting done among the countries in rubles, and understanding that, China is also focusing on trading in their own currency. Besides, America is undergoing a crisis of labor shortage. It is a consequence that is making the government struggle. If the situations of America become worse, Mexico can become a bigger economy in the upcoming years. However, the legacy of America and their supremacy in the world obviously points out that, with this rate of emerging Mexican economy, it is barely possible for them to surpass the American economy. So we will see America rising more, alongside Mexico at least for the next couple of decades, unless something extraordinary happens.